It can be tough on the road, but it can be even more difficult on one Illinois interstate, I-74, connecting a tradition of college basketball. And when these two teams meet, anything can happen. The Illinois State Redbirds, the Bradley Braves, the battle of bragging rights, the war on 74.
And good evening and welcome to Carver Arena. It's round one in the War on 74. Bradley and Illinois State about 35 minutes away from tip-off here at Carver Arena. I'm Lee Hall. Jim Less, a veteran of this rivalry going back to his playing days. His team brings a 3-game win streak into tonight's ball game.
Let's start off with the win Saturday night. What does that do for your team? Obviously, a huge win. I think you said in the paper it wasn't pretty, but hey, gets the job done, right?
Well, what I liked, and we went into detail with the team and kind of why we got behind and why it had to be such a close game, and you know, but what I did like, and we'd like to clean up some of those aspects of our offense and defense that created a deficit and made us battle back, but I love the resolve of the team. You know, to come back down from 17 against a team that, I don't care what the record was, they were playing very well that night and knocking in shots. So I thought we responded at halftime, and I thought to a man, the guys that played us, particularly in the second half, stepped up and all had played a big part in the final, you know, outcome with offensive and defensive big plays and big shots. And I really liked the next step, not only physically of what we did on the basketball floor, but I liked the atmosphere of our timeouts, where in the past it's been one person exhorting, one person trying to bring out the fire, to put us over the top, maybe with our mental approach. And I was taking a back seat to Marcellus, who took over our huddles, the emotional side, and was just, hey, we are not going to lose this game. I'm going to get the next rebound. Who's with me? We're going to get the next stop. Get me the ball. Those types of comments that are coming from within are all real positive in our progression mentally.
What does this rivalry mean to you?
Well, I don't like ISU. So I guess it means a lot. And, it goes back to the day. And, I think the passion that everybody has, whether you're an ISU fan, whether you're a Bradley fan, for this rivalry, the fact that it's so close, the fact that people talk about these games well beyond this season, it adds some extra punch. And somebody had talked about, okay, you're coming off a big road, and now you're coming home, and there's a letdown. We couldn't have asked for a better time for this game to maintain our focus and to keep the intensity. And I think the energy and life that the crowd's going to bring, and then everybody talking up this game prior to it, should keep us energized and focused.
Porter Mosier is 2-3 against his arch rivals, looking to even his record against the Braves here tonight. We sat down yesterday with ISU's third-year head coach.
I think I said this to one of the coaches at Media Day, trying to rebuild a program at this point in the Valley's history, when it's at maybe its strongest ever, is not easy work, is it?
Well, it's I think Dr. Tom Davis said it the best. He says, when you're trying to rebuild a program, taking the bottom of the league to the top right now, from outside looking in, you might not see the progress, because from outside looking in, the bottom line is wins. And the thing that it is very difficult right now. You have 5 or 6 teams that are really at the top of their programs, where they've been, and to make progress. And I thought, that was a heck of a statement, but it isn't easy. It doesn't happen fast, and especially with circumstances going on. But it is very tough to do at this time of the conference.
What does this team lack this year? What's missing?
I think we've struggled at the point guard. We've had to play some guys out of position with that. We knew going in we didn't have a guy that we said this guy's going to average 15, 16 a game. We don't have a guy that if it's 2 minutes left to go in the game or 4 minutes left to go in the game, hey, this guy's going to, we can put him on the back offensively. We don't have that offensive guy that we can just throw on his back and know we can go get baskets from that guy. We have we lost a lot of scores. We have a lot of newcomers, and we have a lot of new guys in terms of been here that haven't had their chance to be in the spotlight. So you could say experience and score we haven't had.
What's key against Bradley for you?
You know, they're so explosive offensively that they go on huge runs. We can't just let them have outrageous runs. They're gonna have a run. They're gonna have some dunks because they're good. But we can't let those huge runs happen against us.
ISU coach Porter Mosier. Coming up next, we will preview tonight's game with my play-by-play partner Joe D'Alfonso. But first, we take a look at one of the fantastic finishes in Bradley ISU history. March 4th, 1986, semifinals of the Valley Tournament in Tulsa. Percy Hawkins scores the game winner on a layup. Bradley wins 65-64 despite losing the championship to Tulsa. They go on to the NCAA tournament and win their first round game against UTEP, their last win in the NCAA tournament. Let's talk about Marcellus Somerville. A lot was made about his slump, but the last 3 games shooting 61.5% from the floor.
Right. Well, he's back. There's no question. You know, he's Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year. There are 9 NBA scouts here tonight. They're not all looking at Patrick O'Brien. They got to look at Marcellus as a potential guy to play in their league, and he's up for the task. If February is his month, the Braves are going to win a lot of games.
Let's talk about the ISU side of things now. Greg Dilligard has a tough job tonight. Whether they play man-to-man or zone, he's going to be bumping into Patrick O'Brien, Marcellus Somerville a lot.
Really, he's going to get an assignment on one. If the other guy gets hot, they have to switch. He's a big guy. He's a quick guy. He can guard a big. He can guard a small. He's the leading shot blocker, and I think defensively they rally around him, and that will key their efforts on both ends.
And very quickly, you talk about Tony Bennett. He's had success against the Redbirds in the past.
Well, he's the X factor, really. Tony Bennett can do everything. Fill up his stat sheet. Assist-wise, he's a great finisher, and he's a key to the game as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Joe D, thanks for your insights. We'll talk to you in a couple more minutes.
All right, Lee, thank you.
All right, Joe D'Alfonso, our play-by-play partner here on WEEK. Getting closer to tip-off. Coming up next, a side of Marcellus Somerville you might not have seen before, and another fantastic finish in Bradley ISU history.
10. Can you say overtime?
January 25th, 1990, less than 10 seconds left. Sonny Roberts tips in Ricky Jackson's shot to beat Bradley, 74-72. ISU goes on to finish second in the Valley that year and play in the NCAA tournament. Name is pronounced Plank, but it spells versatility. In Neil Plank's 3 seasons at Illinois State, he's played every position but center and just about every role but Hamlet. Mark Strauss says the Redbirds have the ultimate team player.
Every coach would like a player like Neil Plank. He'll come off the bench, play any spot on the floor, and he'll do it without any resistance or complaining.
You respect that. He's not a guy that's is out to get padded stats or anything. He's whatever you want me to do kind of a coach kind of kid.
My high school coach, I think, did a lot of preaching to be unselfish because we didn't really have a need to be selfish players back then. So I think, with that upbringing and going through the high school experience, I think it's really helped me at this level.
One of the top 6th men in the Valley last year, Neil is now a starter. He's among ISU's top 3 in scoring, rebounding, assists, and minutes played. His role may have changed, but his approach never does.
I think it is a little bit of an adjustment, but, the main goal of any player is to play as many minutes as you can. Starting out the game is really a privilege.
Plank is preparing to change roles again. He's in ISU's MBA program, hoping for a career in finance. But before the basketball ends, Neil would like to see the Birds stock go up.
If we can understand and figure out what we need to do to play a complete game, and I think, we could be right there with the top teams in the league, and if we could just get it clicking here towards the end of the season, we can make a great run and get some momentum going into the conference tournament.
Whatever the Birds' fate, one thing is certain: Plank will go out a winner. In Normal, Mark Strauss, News 25.
Bradley senior Marcellus Somerville is the reigning Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Week. Somerville coming off a career-high tying 28-point performance in overtime at Evansville Saturday. Somerville a two-time all-conference pick, but he's battling an image problem in the out-of-town media. Marcellus Somerville appears to be a reluctant star. Bradley's leading scorer admits he's a hard guy to get to know. And his look gives new meaning to the phrase game face. Recent newspaper and online articles have labeled him as moody and pouty. Those descriptions coming after Somerville's recent road slump. The Braves' soft-spoken senior doesn't read those articles or give them much credence.
I mean, that's not my character. I think that's not me. So, I mean, people perceive people as what they want to say. And I think, I mean, if they really wanted to get to know me, I think they really see the true side of me.
He'd come across very quiet, maybe private, and that's pretty much how he is until you get into his inner circle. But he's very loving, fun, joking type of guy. He kind of jokes too much. Maybe that's just supposed to mean.
Brooke is the proverbial strong woman behind every successful man. The Somervilles first met 7 years ago at Central in computer class. Their friendship became much more than that, and the former Lady Lion and ICC Lady Cougar is a source of strength and rebounding for her husband.
She's been there through it all, even through the stretch of this season. Me not doing so well, she's come in, rebound for me, and you know, we do a lot of things. She talks to me a lot. She's played ball, so she knows quite a bit, or she thinks she knows more than she does. But
Saturday's breakout game ended a 5-game road slump for Marcellus that saw him average just 9 points a game and shoot 22% from the floor. But that was just a bump in the road compared to what he went through a couple of years ago. Marcellus raced from Redbird Arena to the hospital to be with Brooke and their newborn son, Marcellus Bryce. Their baby died soon after.
It made me and Marcellus's relationship better, but it also brought us a lot closer to God. We've always had God in our life, but not the way we did after the situation occurred. So sometimes you have to have a little struggle in your life to bring you closer to God, and then, you know, from there you just progress.
I'll never forget it or anything like that. I mean, but we try to, you know, put it behind us as far as living our everyday life, and thank God for what we have today.
A year later, the Somervilles had another son. Lathan turns 1 next month.
When Celis comes in the door and when Lathan sees Celis and Celis sees Lathan, it's just something that you can't even explain. I don't know. I think he gives him an extra joy that I can't give him or something. I don't know.
We saw joy return to Celis' basketball life Saturday night. He tied a career high with 28 points. He's shooting 61% from the floor his last 3 games.
Coach has been helping me, you know, to develop that mental side, developing that, you know, killer instinct, sort of to speak, and just getting it down mentally and going through the game in my head and just picturing myself doing great things. And I mean, this is the outcome, I guess.
Somerville for 3. It's good! Marcellus Somerville gives Bradley its first lead of the night.
I expect Celis to play like that every night. You know, I may not tell him, but that's what I expect because I know he's a great player and I know he can do it every night.
All right, coming up next, we will meet 2 newcomers to the Bradley ISU rivalry. But first, another fantastic finish in Braves Redbirds history. January 20th, 1999 at Redbird Arena. Rob Dye gets his own rebound, hits a 3 with 1.6 seconds left. The Braves win 69-68 on the road. And welcome back to Carver Arena. Bradley big man Zach Andrews makes his I-74 rivalry debut here tonight. The 6'8 junior college transfer has made himself feel at home at Bradley. That hasn't always been easy for Zach Andrews. In the words of Jimmy Buffett, I have found me a home, and that's extra special for Bradley's Zach Andrews. Andrews comes to Bradley from Sacramento, where he grew up in a foster home after being abandoned by his parents at age 3. Andrews was 14 when he was taken in for good by Valerie Lopez, the mother of his best friend, Steve. His friends are family, and they helped a young man learn what a family should be.
Them being there for me and their families is just bringing me in. It's been lovely because I could have been out doing drugs and drinking, hanging with the wrong crowd, but just seeing how they were with their family just gave me a lot of hope, and here I am.
Zach has 4 sisters and a brother, and just as big as his dreams of a college degree and a pro basketball career is his dream of keeping his family together against all odds.
I try to keep them in line, try to keep them out of trouble and keep them focused and tell them the do's and don'ts and just try to let them know that I'm here for them, you know, when they need me. Because I'm really basically their dad, you know, father. So they look up to me and they call me when they have problems or just to say hello or good night or whatever.
Lawrence Wright's high-flying junior college teammate has put down roots at Bradley. This role model to his siblings knows his role in the Bradley basketball family.
I'm the rebounder. That's what the coaches call me. You got to get every rebound, Zach, and do what you can. So it's like, okay. And me being half his height is pretty tough, but I get around with the speed that I have, and so just basically doing what I can for him until he arrives back with us is all I can do right now is just rebound and get after it.
And he has done just that. One of 7 newcomers for ISU here tonight, Denma Odiakosa. At 6'8", he was too tall to play soccer in his native Nigeria, so he reluctantly tried basketball. Josh Simon has his story.
The first time Denma Odiakosa played basketball, the conditions were less than perfect.
It's just a round. We picked up a round metal, just like a wheel.
Like a rim of a wheel.
Yeah, just put it up there, and we got a ball and just not a lot of rules, you know, but we just played.
Which explains his reaction the first time he saw Redbird Arena.
When he came here, he wasn't like a normal recruit where he came on an official visit. When he walked into Redbird Arena, this was when he was here, when he got here, and he walked up and gave me a bear hug. You know, and he says, Coach, I'm playing in here. I mean, just appreciative. You love that. He's appreciative of everything.
Denma's only been playing organized basketball for 4 years, but he's accomplished a lot in that time. Playing for the Nigerian national team last summer, he faced elite competition, including NBA players.
It builds your confidence, like if you can do well amongst those guys in a world championship situation, it builds your confidence, like you have the potential to do well anywhere else.
An honor roll student, Denma's also making good grades with his coaches.
He's a terrific kid. I just think he's going to get better and better, and he needs floor time.
And Mosier plans to make sure he gets it. At Redbird Arena, Josh Simon, News 25.
And there you have it. Bradley tries to win their 4th in a row. Illinois State looking for the upset on the road here tonight. Bradley and ISU coming up next on WEEK.
At Safe Auto, low monthly payments put car insurance within reach.
In eye care.
WEEK's exclusive coverage of Bradley basketball is brought to you in part by Heritage Bank, locally owned and managed since 1920. By Ford and your local Ford dealers. By Casey's General Stores, a convenience store and a whole lot more. By The Mattress Doctor, delivering dreams to you. By Menards, save big money at Menards. And by the Better Banks, better service, better bank.
It's round 1 in the War on 74 as the Illinois State Redbirds visit the Bradley Braves. Hello and welcome to Bradley basketball here on WEEK. Lee Hall along with Bradley Hall of Famer Joe D'Alfonso. It's round 1 in the War on 74 now. You could argue that commuters had to battle a war on 74 here all summer long, but the bridge is open and it's all about basketball tonight, Joe.
That's right. The best rivalry in the Missouri Valley Conference starts here tonight. We'll be at normal in a couple of weeks, but right now you're talking about 2 teams who are trying to climb the ladder and get hot at the right time of the year.
Both teams hoping for an upgrade 74, if you will, tonight with a win for Illinois State. They're going to have to do it defensively. Greg Dilligar's got a tough chore in front of him tonight.
He could be the best defensive player in the Missouri Valley Conference, and he's going to be on both Marcellus Somerville and Patrick O'Brien wherever he's needed. He can really defend in the post. In fact, this whole team can defend, and that's what Bradley's going to face tonight, a real gritty defensive club.
To a man, the Braves statistics are much better here at home than on the road. Tony Bennett
might be able to make hay here tonight.
Well, we talked about Somerville, we talked about O'Brien, but Tony Bennett was the guy who really killed Illinois State here last year. 19 points, 6 boards, 6 assists. They can't forget about him or else they're going to regret it.
Illinois State has not won a road game all year, and tonight they hope to survive the drive in the War on 74. Starting lineups come up your way next. Normal. Denma Odiakosa at forward, Greg Dilligard at center, Nadu Onukwu as one guard along with Neil Plank, and Brandon Holtz, the other guard for Porter Mosier. The Redbirds 8-11, 3-8 coming in for Bradley. Marcellus Somerville at forward. Patrick O'Brien back in the starting lineup after missing the starting lineup the last 3 games, coming off the bench. J.J. Twy at guard. Tony Bennett, Daniel Ruffin, 3-guard lineup for Jim Lest. Percy Hawkins' senior year when they won the Valley and won the Valley tournament here in the championship game against ISU. The first game of the rivalry that year here at Carver Arena, Illinois State beat Brad.
Absolutely, in a crowd just like this. It was the first Valley game of the year for both teams, and the Redbirds under Bob Donewall came in here and stole one. The Braves eventually came back from behind to win the league, but it's one of those things that can happen anytime a rivalry, and this is the best rivalry in the MVC, no question.
No doubt about it. Jim Less's 4th season, 52-56. He is 4-3 against the Redbirds. And there you get a look at Porter Mosier, his 3rd season, 34-43 in normal, 6th season overall, including 3 years at Arkansas Little Rock, 89-77. He is 2-3 against Bradley, but 0-2 on this floor.
Right, hasn't been able to win here yet. Not having the greatest talented team to come in here this year to win, but he's a very good coach. He's had success, and he's got Brian Baroni on his staff. Let's not forget it. Anytime you have a relationship with a Baroni, you've got a little bit of an edge.
There are some family ties here. Of course, Porter Mosier played for Tony Baroni when he was a head coach at Creighton. They won the Valley in 1989. Jim Less played for Tony Baroni as an associate coach here.
Right, Porter played on the floor against the Braves. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's a small world.
Eric Fisher, Bradley assistant coach. His degree is from Illinois State, of all places.
Along with someone else I know.
Yeah, well.
I meant the official score, Art Sutherland.
Oh, okay. That degree is hanging proudly on my mother's wall, let me tell you. Braves win the tip, crowd on their feet. Not many empty seats here tonight. Illinois State opens man-to-man. Looking for their first road win of the season.
Dilligard on Somerville and has to come way outside to get him.
Gets Twy on the switch, JJ, and then O'Brien on the tip-in.
Got JJ on the switch, and he took it right to the hole and got a good, quick first step and got it to the basket, and O'Brien was there to put a cleanup.
Patrick averaging 12.5 points a game. Here's Plank, guarded by Twy. Both players lose their footing at center court. Of course, that's been an issue here at Carver Arena in the past, but not recently. With the ice under the floor, but nobody else seems to be effective. 10 on the shot clock. Onukwu double team. Gives to Holtz. Now Dilligard, high-low. Redbirds get it back. Dilligard gets the shot up. Shot clock violation. Great defensive stand that time by the Braves.
Well, it started with a double team near the half court, and it stayed that way. There was a great pressure on every passing lane, almost like Southern Illinois plays. So if Bradley puts that kind of defense up, now they could be successful tonight because you're looking at a Redbird team that has really a lot of trouble scoring.
The Braves call that defense bread. When they come out and double team like that, that is called bread, and they will yell it. Come out, double team. Somerville coming off a career high, tying 28, misses his first shot of the night.
Go,
Bradley at 2-0 lead. We're almost a minute and a half in. This is Holtz. Now Onukwu into the lane. Lefty layup, no good. Offensive goaltending on Odiakosa. He touched it when it was on the rim.
Steve Olson with the call. He is one of those higher tier referees that we've heard about this year, being paid a little higher money for big profile games in the league. He's in that elite class, and he made the call. Also Don Daly and Kip Kinsinger on this game with Steve.
Here's Somerville now, gives it inside to O'Brien. Whistle before the shot. Will go against Illinois State. First foul of the ball game goes against Odiakosa. He is a 6'8" freshman from Nigeria. Braves inbounds with a 2-0 lead and picked off by Neil Plank. Started his career at Wisconsin. Here's Onuki to the hoop. O'Brien with the block. Another block on Dilligard. Fly the other way. Too hard. Almost comes up with the steal.
Patrick O'Brien, 36 blocks now on the season. He has more than every team in the Valley except Illinois State.
And Odiakosa steps out of bounds.
And there are 9 NBA scouts in the house tonight looking at athleticism just like that, Lee. People ask, what are they looking for? It's plays like that, reaction, quick jumping, things like that.
Bulls general manager John Paxson is in the house, and he was eyeballing Patrick in warm-ups, and I believe he liked what he saw there. Into Somerville for the layup. It won't go. Mosier says offensive goaltending, so do the officials.
Well, again, Patrick O'Brien hanging around the rim, but the Braves have just missed a couple of easy shots so far. Somerville missed one, and there was another there. Getting the ball inside of the Redbirds, which is usually hard to do.
They are the third-ranked defense in the Missouri Valley Conference, allowing under 59 points a game and only allowing teams to shoot 40%. But Fly comes up with a steal and the layup for Bradley.
Good pressure, and again, the double team, the hard double team in the backcourt.
Jim West said today defense was going to be emphasized for his team here tonight. Didn't feel like they really played their best defense lately. Holtz turns it over on the drive to the bucket. Somerville was there defensively. Here's Ruffin, give to Twy, lays it up, bounces it in. Bradley off to a 6-0 lead.
Gotta look for a timeout here right now from Porter Mosier. He is going to substitute, but he wants his team to just settle down. Doesn't want to use a timeout early, but he wants them to settle down and run a play.
The Redbirds practicing with crowd noise all week as Bennett got the steal, gives to Twy, lays it up. He went out of bounds and laid it up, came back in. He was the next guy to touch it. That shouldn't have counted.
That's right, and that's what their bench is talking about right now.
Take another look. Bennett's out of bounds. He comes back. He's the next guy to touch it. Is that right or not?
Well, he saved it to Twy and then came back inside and got, here it is. There's the save. Twy has it. Now he lays it out there for Tony. He's okay.
All right.
Yeah, that was all right.
The Redbirds coaching staff doesn't agree with that.
Well, you know, they only saw it once in fast motion, and we had to look at it a couple of times, but that was a pretty good play. The Redbird coaching staff has more important things to worry about right now. This is their worst nightmare. 0 for 5 from the field, 4 turnovers, 2 blocked shots. They can't get the ball to the rim, and Bradley's pressure is making them turn over, which is leading to easy shots. It's not just a turnover on the baseline, it's turnovers at the top of the key.
Maybe that's football and wide receivers that can't come back in again.
Exactly right.
Dana Ford into the ball game now for Illinois State. Number 43 inbounds. And Khalif Ford makes his first appearance in the last 2 games. He did not play the last 2 ball games for Illinois State, sitting out against Southern Illinois and Indiana State.
Vandalo also in the lineup.
Number 31, freshman out of Bettendorf, Iowa. Brave starter still in. Onuki quick off the dribble and scores. Foul on O'Brien. Great move. Boy, Onuki was quick as a hiccup.
Yes, he was, and that made the play move because O'Brien, you know, came off. Here's the switch. Now he tries to get back and it's too late and gets some of the ball and some of the player. You can't block every shot, and sometimes big men, they get in a mindset that they can.
Onuki is a senior out of Omaha, born in Lagos, Nigeria. Moved here as a child, 59% free thrower, bounces it in and out.
It's a bad free throwing team on top of everything else for their offensive woes.
10th in the league, 62.4% of the line. Somerville, entry pass to O'Brien, can't hang on. And the Braves turn it over.
Now we mentioned that the Redbirds scored 57.5 points per game, but that's 10th in the league. They're 9th in field goal percentage, 9th in three-point percentage, 10th from free throws. It's just an adventure sometimes to get points on the board for that.
Downright offensive and not in the good way.
Downright.
Like in stinky offensive, yeah. Zach Andrews and Lawrence Wright, the Yuba College twins, will check in on the next dead ball for Bradley. Dilligard baseline jumper is good. He's the only Redbird averaging in double figures, just over 10 a game. Quickly ahead, Twy lays it up and missed. How many missed layups is that for Bradley?
At least 3. Twy's got a couple of them, plus a turnover.
Braves come up with a turnover. Bennett on the run. Lays it up, gets the whistle, not the bucket. He'll go to the line. Foul is on Dana Ford, his first. We go to a break with Bradley leading 8-4. Tony Bennett to go to the line when we come
back a couple of times. Twice, Somerville, but shots have rolled out. One tip in on this. The Braves are playing the game that they really want to play. Pressure full court, getting down to the passing lanes, getting the ball to the hoop.
You're going to look at Porter Mosier. Member of that 1989 Missouri Valley Conference Championship team at Creighton under Tony Baroni. Tony Bennett, 68% free thrower, makes his first and rattles the second one in and out. Coming off just a 4-point performance at Evansville. He was 2 of 10. He had 6 assists, but a poor shooting night for Tony. He missed I remember one layup he missed.
Right, late in the game when it really counted.
3-point attempt for Khalif Ford is good. Khalif Ford, 36% behind the arc. Did not play the last 2 games, trying to work his way out of the doghouse. Somerville off the dribble. Banks it no good. Andrews had a hand on it, but couldn't control. Andrews and Wright in there for the Braves. It's 9-7 now. Redbirds can tie with a bucket here. Dilligard, jump hook is good, and the Redbirds have come storming back.
Yeah, it's a 9-1 run since being punching them out.
Braves' poor shooting has cost them the lead here in the opening 5.5 minutes of this game. Somerville against the freshman Vandalo. He's fouled. Go to the line.
Double team came quickly that time. Vandalo got a piece of him. And Dilligard has now switched off and taken Andrews, which is curious in my mind because Andrews is not the great offensive factor. His job is to keep him off the boards and okay. But Somerville's the one that can explode.
That was just the first on Ford. Will Franklin comes in for the senior, Tony Bennett. And Somerville makes his second free throw. Bradley back up 1. Comes the full court pressure by the Braves. Somerville. They're unable to get the trap going, but the Redbirds use 9 seconds of the shot clock to get the ball across.
And really getting into their offense at 21 seconds.
Onukwu has had some success with that move off the dribble tonight. Ford puts it on the floor. And it's Redbirds by 1.
Well, we're settled down now. Each team has made a run. Now we're in for a ball game.
Khalif Ford with 5 points off the bench. Andrews open. And the reverse slam for Zach Andrews. He has half of Bradley's dunks on the season.
He knew he was so wide open. He knew he was going to slam that before he caught it. Use the rim as a barrier.
Nice move by the junior. Here's Dilligard. He made that shot earlier. Dana Ford there for the rebound. That's a key Jim West talked about today. No offensive rebounds for the Redbirds. Tough shot by Onukwu is no good. Vandalo, the rebound follow, is no good. Couple of extra shots at it, but no luck for the Redbirds.
Porter Mosier didn't like the shot selection, so subs are coming.
Somerville, and he gets a whistle. Porter Mosier thinks it's a bailout.
Yeah, Dilligard.
That's the first on Dilligard. So Somerville goes back to the line. There you see Porter Mosier's record against Bradley and here in Peoria. Picked up a win against Bradley down in St. Louis. a couple of years ago in the tournament. Odiokosa, Plank, Holtz back in for the Redbirds. Marcellus Somerville just under 72% at the line. Misses that one. Braves up 2. We played almost 7 minutes. Patrick O'Brien will check back in for Bradley on the next dead ball. Holtz, there's the red defense. Double team. Holtz gets out of it. Ford for 3. Got that one halfway down and it clanked out. Plank the follow. Neil
Andrews.
Plank, the senior out of Mount Zion.
Right, good player. Andrews couldn't hold on to the rebound that time. It also would have been Bradley Ball. Redbirds have been opportunistic so far, keeping the game close, and that's all they wish for.
Zach Andrews passes out of the block. Somerville, nice move, blocked by Odiokosa. The Redbirds, the #1 team in blocks in the conference. Good ball reversal there. Holtz misses the 3. Braves and Redbirds tied at 13. Ruffin, pull-up jumper. Tough shot goes for Daniel Ruffin. He's averaging 8 points a game.
And that's a good sign that he can play in a different month of January. He was red hot in January. We'll go over those numbers later.
Yeah, we had Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, Dave Winfield, Mr. May, and now we've got Mr. January.
Boy, I tell you, his numbers were outstanding because most of the games were in the league, obviously, and he really went to town, really improved and matured.
Timeout on the next dead ball. Redbirds with 8 on the shot clock. Holtz banked that one off the rim that time. Banged it off the rim, we should say. Ball's kicked. No new shot clock, but a timeout. 11:28 to go, first half. Braves a 2-point lead. Back at Carver Arena, Khalif Ford giving the Redbirds a lift off the bench. He has 5 points for Illinois State. Let's take a look at the standings. And it's Southern Illinois. What new? They're on top, 9-2. Northern Iowa cracks the top 25 this week, and they go to Creighton and lose. They are now in tie with Creighton for second place. Wichita State next at 8-3. Missouri State and Bradley tied at 6-5. Then it's Drake, Illinois State, Indiana State, and Evansville.
But Creighton has swept Northern Iowa this year, so all tiebreakers go the way of the Blue Jays.
2-3 zone for the Redbirds. Bennett drives and kicks. Franklin drives. Baseline floater is good for Will Franklin, the junior out of Houston, Texas, by way of Kilgore College.
Been shooting well since he's been having more playing time and played an all-around game. First in the league in assist-to-turnover ratio. That's pretty good. This is a good league.
Another good junior college pickup for Jim Les and the Braves. Inside Odiokosa. Travel. Good defense by O'Brien. Odiokosa walked. He just started playing organized basketball 4 years ago in his native Nigeria.
Illinois State had settled down 6 of the last 12 from the field after an 0-for-5 start. So we're going to try to settle down, get in the zone here, deny Bradley, keep it close, as we mentioned, try to steal one at the end on the road. They haven't been able to do that.
Bennett gives to Wright. Great catch, and he'll go to the line on the foul against Illinois State. That's on Dana Ford. That's his second. 15th foul on Illinois State.
Well, this play was made by dribble penetration. You see, Bennett got all the way into the paint, got up in the air, and then hit Wright, who's pretty athletic himself, and there was no layup try. Dribble penetration is the cause of most evils on defense.
Lawrence Wright, great free thrower, 78%. As you take a look at Jim Les's numbers in this series, of course, he goes back to the day. I mean, the pregame rhetoric coming into this game was about as mild as the January weather, Joe. I mean, it was very calm compared to what we had 20 years ago, and it was Versace and Donowall.
Exactly, and Jim Les was part of that. Hersey Hawkins, Matt Taphorn, really a lot of great players in this league, and did battle sometimes 3 times a season, not just 2.
Bradley back up 5. They led it 8-0 before Illinois State went on a run. Bennett gets a hand on it. He's second in the league in steals. Franklin, pull-up jumper. He just made one from there. Tipped by Bradley. Who is that? Tony Bennett gets it, bounces it off Onuku, and it'll be Bradley Ball with 34 on the shot clock. Brand new clock after the miss by Franklin.
Well, we mentioned turnovers are not good for a team that can't score. That is 6 now for the Redbirds on this game, and we're almost halfway through the first half.
Bryant, Andrews, right down low with it now. Had it knocked away, but he got a hand on it, and then he couldn't control it. And Cruz just into the ball game, throws it away for Illinois State.
Another turnover, another missed opportunity to score.
Mark Cruz, a junior transfer out of St. Cloud, Minnesota, with the turnover. Porter Mosher going to his bench and playing some guys that haven't seen playing time, at least not much of it for a while. Cruz played 9 minutes against Southern, 4 against Indiana State, didn't play the 2 games prior to that. Looking for combinations. 18-13, the Bradley lead. Man-to-man now for Illinois State. Franklin turns it over, or no, it's a foul.
Offensive foul on Lawrence Wright. Pick. You hate to come this late in the year, Lee, and have your team still a work in progress. And that's what the Redbirds look like. Trying to find combinations, guys don't play, all of a sudden they're starting or they're 6th man off the bench. It's February 1, and if you don't have a rotation by now, then it's going to be doubly tough.
Well, and Khalif Ford, a guy that had been their starting point guard, didn't play the last 2 games. Cruz turns it over. He probably won't be in there much longer.
No, not with plays like that. There's as many turnovers as Kitty's Cafe in Washington.
Khalif Ford comes in, but Neil Plank gets a rest, so Cruz stays in.
In a game like this, you get so emotional. You play at such a high pace. Sometimes even your good players have to come out after a couple of minutes because, it's just tiring. They're playing at such a high level.
Tony Bennett pull-up jumper is long. Wright got a hand on it on the opposite side, but Carlwell comes out of there. Ronnie Carlwell, sophomore, 6'11", out of Proviso East, into the ball game for Illinois State. Bradley leads this all-time series 55-45, 36-15 at home, 17-7 at Carver Arena. They've won 3 straight and 11 of the last 13 in this building.
And the last 3 have come by an average of almost 16 points, Lee. Redbirds have not fared here lately.
Plank back in. He didn't get much of a rest. Somerville back in for the Braves. 18-13, 8:40 to play first half. Bradley scored 8 points very quickly, and it's slowed up considerably here offensively for both squads. Franklin double team. Plank, nice hustle. Diving for the ball out of bounds. It'll be Bradley Ball. Ruffin back in.
We saw this the other night at Evansville. In the half court sometimes, Bradley's trying to go 100 miles an hour even when the defense is standing right in front of him. People are penetrating, they're running around, they're throwing passes, and all of a sudden there's a double team, and you have to react. It looks like they're playing with a 10-second clock at times. Bradley could get some good shots. They've got the tools to do it. Here's one.
Inside O'Brien. And the shot clock went off. Shot clock violation for the Braves. Now the Braves come with the full court pressure again.
It's obvious no one knew what was on the clock there.
Here's Vandalow with it. Freshman out of Bettendorf, Iowa. Big number 31. He's played well for Porter Mosher here in his first year. 8 on the shot clock for Illinois State. Plank drives, pulls up, good. Neil Plank, 8.5 points a game.
Separated himself nicely with a little left arm push off that time. Nice move. And a better shot.
Started his college career at the University of Wisconsin, then transferred to Illinois State. Bennett gives to O'Brien for the hammer.
Dribble penetration once again. Nice play by Tony Bennett. He made the play.
Patrick O'Brien there for the cleanup. Onuku in the lane. Boy, he's very quick with that basketball. 4 points for Onuku.
Soft shot. We've made two nice offensive moves by him so far.
O'Brien from the top of the key. Oh, my. I think the NBA scouts will like that.
Well, if he continually makes that shot, this whole league's in trouble.
Braves back up 5. Ford gives the Vandalo. Can't hang on. Bounces it off O'Brien, but it stays in bounds. Here's Ruffin at the other end. He didn't dunk it, but he lays it in.
We can't expect him to dunk every game. Although this game's young.
Ruffin with 4. And here comes the crowd for Bradley. They lead it by 7. Their biggest lead was 8. Double dribble on Khalif Ford, and the Redbirds turn it over. Trailing by 7 with 6:16 left in the first. Back at Carver Arena, Bradley on the run out as they open a 7-point lead.
This is 8 points off of turnovers now for the Braves in the early going here. There's another turnover. This is a nice play by Daniel Ruffin. He knew exactly where the ball was, got it on one hop and laid it up soft. Nice pass, nice finish.
Time now for Tonight in the Valley, brought to you by Casey's General Store, Convenience Store, and a whole lot more. Evansville leading at Wichita State 29-25 at the half. Drake trailing at Missouri State at the half 30-18. And get this, Indiana State leading the Salukis on the road 34-25 at the half.
And that's a team with the longest home court winning streak in the nation, the Salukis. They're down 9.
Wow, well, they find themselves in the same hole Bradley did here at home, trailing Indiana State at the half.
Right. David Moss back in the lineup, by the way. This is his second game after the hamstring injury.
Alley-oop! Bennett with the hammer! Bradley up 9, that's their biggest lead.
That's 7 assists on 11 baskets, and Bradley is shooting over 50%.
Blank's 3 is short, and O'Brien can't hang on.
Braves now 11 of 21 from the field. None of those shots are from beyond the three-point line.
Right. Have not attempted a 3.
And 11 turnovers for the Redbirds.
And we've seen that from Bradley earlier. I believe it was just Saturday night. They don't necessarily need to shoot 3s to attack a zone successfully.
Absolutely, especially when you don't have a lot of shooters out there. Somerville is taking fewer these days. Kraus doesn't play.
Adams doesn't play.
Adams doesn't play. They made it really a conscious effort to get the ball in the lane and get better shots. 12 turnovers now for Illinois State.
One thing Porter Mosier talked to us about yesterday, we can't allow Bradley to get on these kind of runs. They are on one here now. 13-4 run by the Braves as they lead it by 9 with 5:20 left. Ruffin drives, kicks to Somerville. His shot's off the mark. O'Brien wisely not trying to go over the back and get that rebound.
That looked like the first 3 of the game right there.
Holtz, the freshman out of Bloomington, almost throws it away. Under 5 minutes to play here, first half. Braves up 26-17. Holtz gives the Vandalo. The freshman goes up and over O'Brien.
Nice play. Boy, both players were patient there. Vandalo with the head fakes. O'Brien didn't get off the floor, and then the bucket.
26-19 now. Bill, nowhere to go. Gives to Bennett. Down the lane, up off the glass. There'll be a charge on Bennett.
Steve Olson with the call. Tony left his feet to pass and charge.
First on Bennett, third on the team. Lawrence Wright back in for Franklin. Here's another look.
Billy Gard with a nice defensive play. I don't know if a player from the lower echelon of the league can get Defensive Player of the Year, but he is definitely a candidate.
Khalif Ford, nice drive. Redbirds back within 5. Inside Somerville. Over 3 players missed. O'Brien follows it up. Missed an easy one, but he's fouled.
From behind.
Fouls on Khalif Ford. That's his first. 16 foul on the Redbirds.
Here's Patrick O'Brien getting position in the trees. Short-armed it because he was hit.
Patrick O'Brien, 16 points, 9 rebounds against Evansville, and only 18 minutes off the bench. First free throw bounces good, 68% of the line.
That inching towards his last year's numbers when he was just a tick over 70%. Right now he's looking at a 70% career shooter from there. Nice touch. Well, he only gets 9 shots per game. And in this league, when there's no other 7-footers that can equal his talents, that's probably about 3 or 4 too few.
Four minutes to play now, first half. O'Brien gives Bradley a 28-21 lead. Bradley defense tightening up now against the Redbirds. O'Brien, Dilligard going at it 25 feet from the hoop. Ford, he's hot tonight. Khalif Ford. The Redbirds have now hit a 3 in 192 straight games. The last time they didn't make one was December 12th, 1999 against Creighton. Here's the turnover. Ford unselfishly to Onukiu. And it's a 2-point game now. The Redbirds have come storming back here very quickly, Joe.
That's what happens when you have turnovers on the court, in the backcourt. You can run out and get easy points. Bradley's done it already tonight. You just travel or step on the end line, someone's got to take it out. They don't put the ball in play until everybody's ready. But a turnover like that equals layups. Here it is. Here's a nice play.
9-2 run by the Redbirds.
Over Lawrence Wright. Again, unselfish. And Ford, of the 2 Fords on that team, he has the least amount of range. Ask Creighton.
You were talking about that, Joe, just a moment ago. An average of just under 16 points the last 3 Bradley wins here at home.
Right. My reference was to Dana Ford making a 40-footer to beat the Blue Jays in Normal earlier this year. Ford could shoot Khalif Ford could shoot a little bit. And again, the Redbirds score off their defense. And they have hung their hat on that all season long. Porter Mosier will take this right now. 2 points down with 3 minutes to go.
Tony Bennett off the dribble. It's good. Tony Bennett averaging 12 points a game. Neil Plank being hawked by Lawrence Wright. Backdoor to Onukiu for the jam. With authority.
That play came out of the timeout. First possession. Here's what we're going to do. And they ran it perfectly.
Back to a 2-point game.
That's how you hurt teams that overplay a lot.
Inside. Somerville's pass thrown away. A turnover on Sellis. J.J. Twy back in for the Braves. 2:23 left. It's a 2-point Bradley lead. Lee Hall, Joe D'Alfonso back at Carver Arena. The Redbirds have come storming back, Joe. A 9-2 run to get within 2.
Well, easy shots like that. Here's the backdoor play. We talked about the overplay. This was run to perfection as Tony Bennett gets caught. They've had a dunk, a couple of layups. They've hit a 3. And Khalif Ford is right in the middle of it. 4 or 5 from the field, 10 points, 3 assists. Having a great game here, almost at halftime.
Slow start for Marcellus Somerville, 0 of 6 from the floor.
Right. The rest of the Braves are doing all right. 12 of 19, but Marcellus has missed them from everywhere. 3, tip in, got a shot blocked on the baseline, struggling.
Eju Onukiu made some big plays tonight for Illinois State, but a bad shot that time turns it over. Looks like he forced it a little bit inside to right, blocked. Vandalo with the block. The freshman denying Lawrence Wright. Under 2 minutes to go now, first half. Blank down on the block, guarded by Twy. Travel.
That's 13 turnovers for a team that is shooting 52% from the field.
Looked like a good move that time. Twy was right there defensively.
Right. I like to have some of those possessions back when you're shooting so well. Redbirds 13 of 25, 2 of 6 from deep.
Twy tried to get it into Andrews, battling Dilligard in the post. Weave at the top of the arc for Bradley. Ruffins open at the 2. No good. Andrews the rebound. Kicks it back out, and Braves will reset as we approach the 1-minute mark.
Right up.
Zach Andrews. Wild shot that time. Not a good move by Zach that time, as we are under a minute to go, and now a foul at the other end on Andrews.
And that usually follows. A bad shot usually follows with a foul on the other end because you're trying to make up for what you just did. The Braves have done a good job staying in a foul trouble this half.
Much better. They committed 181 fouls in the first 8 Valley games, only 44 their last 3. Those first 8 games, minus 73 at the line. They've outscored their last 3 opponents at the free throw line. So much better job defensively.
And it's 10-1 on the 10th.
Oh, Dilligard with the dunk. Greg Dilligard with 6. Junior out of LaBelle, Missouri. Andrews charge. Braves falling apart offensively, Joe.
Well, that's 3 offensive fouls so far in this game. Braves have only committed 5, and 3 of them are on the offensive end. Another turnover, and now we're down to a 1 possession at the end of the half. And then the Redbirds will have the first possession of the second half. So if they take care of the ball here, they could look at 2 in a row.
30-30. Road teams causing problems tonight in the Valley. Indiana State up 9 at the half on Southern. Evansville leading Wichita at the half. And Illinois State in a dogfight with their arch rivals here at Carver Arena.
The bottom 4 teams in the Valley as of today are all on the road tonight.
And all double-digit underdogs.
Correct.
We're even here. 13 to play in the first. Ward almost loses it. Holmes with 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. Right the rebound. 3, 2, 1. They won't get a shot off, or will they? Nope. Well, Tony probably should have stopped and pulled up there, but he was trying to run down a tough pass there.
Right. Once again, clock awareness. We saw a 35-second shot violation. There's the dunk. We didn't know how much time was left, and there was a case right there.
So, barn burner here.
30-30. And of course, you know the stats. This is the stat of the night. When Illinois State gives up 60 points, they're 0-9 on the season. When they give up less than 60, they are 8-2. So it's 30-30 at the half. Make your own conclusions.
60 is the magic number for the Redbirds as they look for their first road win of the year here tonight. And they have made a game of it here in the first 20 minutes, going to the locker room tied at 30. We'll take a look at the first half highlights, and we will talk with Bradley soccer coach Jim DeRose here at halftime. Back at Carver. We are back at Carver Arena. Illinois State and Bradley tied at 30. It's a dog's life here tonight. The dog races here at Carver Arena. It's been a horse race here, Joe, and after 20 minutes, it's neck and neck.
It really is, and it's amazing that this game is tied because there have been 5-minute stretches where the Braves have been absolutely dominant. Dunks on the offense, block shots on the defense, run-outs, pressing full court. I mean, they've done a lot of things right, and now they've got to be a little demoralized. Here's Zach Andrews getting free, turnaround dunk right there. I think the Braves had 2 or 3 of those in the first half. But then here at halftime, 30-30, and you got to give the Redbirds credit for really hanging in.
And here's another look. Bradley has had some sweet dunks, like you say, but boy, the Redbirds have just hung right in there. They got down by 9 at one point and then just bounced right back and got some easy buckets themselves.
Porter Mosier took the first shot right in the mouth. It was 8-0. Bradley had to call a timeout. Here's a backdoor play. Any time that he stood up and said, just slow it down and run a play, they got shots similar to this. This dunk here was not within 2 points. And, like I said, give them credit. They had to call just one timeout, set the offense, slowed things down, played better defense, and then, of course, Marcellus Somerville not having a very good half. Here's the out-of-bounds play for Dilligard right there. Somerville 0 for 6 from the field and a few turnovers. So the offense, other than him, has really stopped with him.
And he will have to pick it up. He, of course, coming off that career-high 28 points against Evansville, but a slow start here tonight as the crowd goes nuts for these dog races.
Well, he did get 23 of those 28 points in the second half Saturday night against the Aces, so there's still time.
Right. And one thing the Redbirds did this week was practice with audio in Redbird Arena, and they played, they prepared for this.
Right, yeah, teams do that, but in the NFL, college football, college basketball, probably a smart move because this crowd was really into it early when the Braves made that 8-0 run.
So far, we are tied. 30 for Bradley, 30 for Illinois State. We'll be back to talk with Bradley soccer.
Ford with 10, Okineo with 8, and Dilligard, the big center, with 6 points. Those three lead the Redbirds in scoring for the Braves. Big Patrick O'Brien with 8, Tony Bennett with 7, Daniel Ruffin with 4 points. Lead the scoring there. Marcellus Somerville did not score from the field in the first half, had the 2 free throws. Comparatively, Bradley 43%, 12 of 28, with Somerville going 0 for 6. Only 1 free throw, 3-point goal missed or shot in the first half. Bradley 10 free throws against 0 for 1 for the Redbirds. 13 turnovers for ISU, but they lead the rebounding battle 17-16. And now we're going to switch it over to Lee Hall with Coach Jim Less.
Earlier today, you told me your team was going to get Illinois State's best shot, and after 20 minutes, you're pretty prophetic.
No, we knew they would, and too many easy opportunities. I thought we stopped their transition, but too many easy baskets within their offense, layups. I didn't think we guarded the ball as well as we could. We got to clean that up and take better care of the ball on our end with good shots.
Tough start for Sellis, 0 for 6 from the floor.
Well, he'll come back. What I'm more worried about is he has no rebounds. He's got to continue to play whether the ball goes in or not.
All right, Jim, thanks.
Thank you.
And that was Jim Less moments ago talking about Marcellus Somerville. More worried about his rebounding and then having rebounds.
Right, yeah, no rebounds, no field goals in 15 minutes in the first half, and we're tied at 30, Lee.
And one thing he talked about with us earlier today was playing 5-on-5, making ISU play 5-on-5, and defense, and his team has allowed some easy buckets.
That's exactly right. I mean, you look at Illinois State's situation. They have turned it over 13 times. They did not score from the free throw line, only took 1 shot. They lead in rebounding 17-16. They have to be ecstatic with this tie right now at 30-all.
Other scores from around the Valley with 12:45 to play. Drake trails Missouri State by 20, 46-26. 7:50 to play at Wichita. The Shockers now in the lead after trailing at the half, 51-47 on Evansville. Indiana State with 8:25 left at Southern, leading 49-34. That would be a big, big upset.
I'll tell you what, if Illinois State wins this game and they have a good shot right now, that would be the second biggest upset in the league.
Ford turns it over. Ruffin lay up at the other end is blocked by Onukiu. He's everywhere tonight. Somerville for 3, in and out. Those babies were going in all night, at least in the second half Saturday, and he can't buy one tonight.
The layup was our best chance to score there, and it was blocked.
Redbirds try to go into Dilligard. He loses it, but it's off Bradley. It'll be ISU ball with 19 on the shot clock. Redbirds inbounds, tied at 30 with Bradley here. Opening moment, second half. Onukiu travel. You look at the job Porter Mosier has been faced with the last couple of years. The players he's lost. And when he's lost them late in the year, and it's hard to get guys when you're losing guys like Najib Eccles and Marcus Arnold, who decides to transfer late, and Lorenzo Gordon
was a newcomer of the league. Only played 1 year before he left school.
Now Twy turns it over. Played over a minute. Neither team scored here in the second half.
Only had 1 shot, 2 shots.
Dilligard guarded by Somerville. Jump hook is way off. Didn't even get rim. Not a good shot that time by Dilligard. Ruffin. Now Twy gives to O'Brien at the top of the key. Somerville desperately trying to post up, and Dilligard a little too physical. Whistle for the foul. That's his second.
Only Dana Ford had 2 fouls in the first half for the visitors, and now Dilligard joins him. Very loosely called game in the first half, probably the way Bradley would like it. Bradley only whistled for 5 fouls in the first 20 minutes.
Zone or matchup zone for Illinois State. Ruffin for 3 is good. Ruffin, 34% from three-point range. He's picked that up quite a bit later in the season here.
As we mentioned, in January, he was on fire. 9 points a game, 50% from the field, 6.7 assists, did everything.
Inside block by O'Brien. The big Peasy with the block. I don't know what that means, but that's what the guys on the team call him. Ronnie Wright, the strength coach, calls him that. Somerville kicks out now to Ruffin. They go inside to O'Brien and draw another whistle on the Redbirds. This time it's Odiokosa.
Right. If he beats you to the spot, you better let him catch it, even though that's not what you want to do. But it's hard to get around him and deny him the pass once it's too late.
Bennett for 3. Off the back of the rim. Onuku tips it. Ruffin runs it down. He says thank you very much. Behind the back to Somerville. Great pass. Blocked and fouled. What a pass from J.J. Twy.
Yeah, that was a little Globetrotter-esque right there, and Marcellus wasn't ready for it because he was kind of surprised, caught it, and then got a late jump to the hoop. Watch this. There it is. Marcellus puts it on the floor, and then it's too late. Makes in the first half. Illinois State 0 for 1. And when Bradley shoots more free throws than their opponents this year, 9-0, Lee, and 10 straight victories when that stat becomes a reality.
Sellis 3 of 5 at the line for his 3 points. 0 for 7 now from the floor. Makes them both this time. Bradley scores the first 5 points of the second half for a 5-point lead. They led by as many as 9 in the first half.
Scored the first 8 in the first half.
Later built a 9-point lead, and the Redbirds came charging back. Onuku guarded by Ruffin. Now Somerville flashes. Here's Holtz with it. The former Purple Raider gives it inside, gets it back. 3-point attempt by Holtz is no good. And O'Brien gets the rebound. He's got 7 now. Somerville looking for his first bucket. Odiokosa might have got a hand on it. And a takedown by O'Brien away from the ball. It'll be a foul on Patrick O'Brien. Will be his second.
Marcel is shaking his head as he did not get the call underneath the basket that time. Here it is. There's a good head and shoulders fake. There's the block. It was clean. And O'Brien with the takedown.
Porter Mosier reminds me a lot of Bob Bender. Very active on the sideline, great with the media, energetic. And the Redbirds turn it over. Defense that time by Tony Bennett.
Well, Bob Bender had a good career, and Porter Mosier, you have to be all those things, really. You have to communicate to youngsters. You have to be energetic. You have to make them believe you can win, even on a night like this, in an environment like this. Sometimes it's your only chance. Get them prepared and then show them that you believe.
Somerville tries the baseline jumper. Still can't buy one. Holtz hits the deck and comes up with the long rebound. Well, we talked about the guys he's lost.
And there's been quite a few. Was it Dentman, the guy from Carbondale that signed with him early and then decided he'd go prep school?
Exactly.
Dodie Dunson from Bloomington.
I tell you what,
Same thing.
Dentman alone probably would have put this team possibly, if Gordon had stayed and some others, into the top division of this league. He's that good.
Khalif Ford in the corner. He finally missed one. He's had a good game off the bench for Porter Moser. 35-30. Ruff kicks to Twy. Now Somerville gives to O'Brien. The big fella off the glass, can't get it down. Bennett with the rebound, miss. Reached in and a foul will go against, do it again, J.J. Twy. His first.
So right there, that was the case of the instant offense lead being very, very good. But the ball ended up, here's the miss by Bennett in traffic, and then the foul. And what happened, the Braves went down and got into their secondary offense and quick offense, and J.J. Twy had a wide open three-pointer and passed it up. He throws it to Marcellus, who's 0 for the night, and now he doesn't want to shoot. And then they don't get the two wide open shots that really the offense is designed for.
Tony Bennett almost comes up with the steal. We get 2 ticks of the clock, and we're under 16 to go here. We are back at Carver Arena. Bradley with a 5-point lead. They scored the first 5 points here in the second half. They only made 1 field goal out of 8 attempts. You look at Tony Bennett going to the offensive glass. He is second in the conference at steals. And they say in the old TV show, it takes a thief. Tony and Dana Ford, 2 of the 3 players in the league, Joe, that have more steals than turnovers.
Yeah,
actually, that should read 38 turnovers for Tony.
Right.
Brian Mullen's the only other player in the league with more steals than turnovers.
That's a very hard stat and one that's unappreciated sometimes. Bradley looking for an over and back, didn't get the call.
And Brandon Holtz fouled by Tony Bennett. Good double team, but the official says Tony got a little too aggressive there. That's the second on him.
Bennett this game with 3 steals and 1 turnover, and that gives him 100 steals for his Bradley career. Pretty good.
Talk about a guy with energy and pizzazz. We were talking about Porter Moser as a coach. Tony Bennett, oh my.
Yeah, can't play long stretches without him, that's for sure. Redbirds 0 for 4 from the floor.
A foul on Tony Bennett. And that's 3 on Tony Bennett.
Right, 2 quick ones. And now he's got to come out in favor of Will Franklin.
Levi Dyer, number 32, in for Illinois State. Franklin comes in for Bennett, who gets 2 quick ones here. And now Ronnie Carlwell will check in for ISU.
Bennett 3 of 6 from the floor, 7 points, 2 assists, 3 steals, having another pretty solid game. Redbirds, as I mentioned, 0 for 4 from the field this half, have not scored.
Holtz for 3. No good that time. Quickly ahead to O'Brien for the dunk. The big fella got down the floor quickly.
I guess. I thought he was offsides.
He was. First Brave in double figures, O'Brien with 10. New rules this year, you can two-line pass. Vandalo, nice give to Carlwell. Took way too long to get the shot up, though, and has it taken away. Inside Pat. Jump hook, bounces it in. And timeout for Porter Moser. Bradley scores the first 9 points. So back at Carver Arena, Bradley scores the first 9 of the second half. Patrick O'Brien getting behind the defense that time.
Right, he's 2 of 3 from the floor, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks, as the Bradley Braves scored the first 9.
Time now for the MVC Top 3, where we check out the Missouri Valley Conference record book for the best of the best. Tonight's category, career assists. Anthony Manuel of Bradley, number 1. Jamar Smiley of ISU, number 2. And that Jim Les guy, Bradley head coach, number 3 all time in the Missouri Valley Conference with assists.
Tells you how good Manuel was. He's 100 more than Jamar Smiley. who played 4 seasons.
Well, he didn't play with Hersey Hawkins either.
That's true.
Bradley's biggest lead in the first half was 9. They equal it here. Ruffin almost comes up with a steal. Wright does.
18 turnovers now for the men in red.
They are definitely in the red in that category. Y gets it back. 15 on the shot clock for Bradley. Looking to go 13-7, 7-5 in the Valley. Lob to O'Brien. Gets it. Puts it up and scores. Patrick O'Brien now with 14.
Unbelievable pass and catch that time because Franklin was out of control a little bit. Fans are still standing as the Braves are pitching a shutout here in the second half.
An 11-0 run by Bradley to start the second half. 6 scoreless minutes for the Redbirds. Vandalo tries to get the Birds on the board and can't. Patrick O'Brien closing in on a double-double. Will Franklin knocks in the 3. His 7th of the year. 4 of those came against Creighton.
And he's been hot from that spot lately. I think that's 7 out of his last 13.
14-0 Bradley runs. Why the steal? He's got Ruffin if he can find him. Can't, but he's fouled before he lays it up.
Right. Vandalo was on his hip that time and fouled him. Probably a smart play because Twy was going to score.
Then he had Ruffin, but he couldn't see him. And look at Vandalo.
That was a silly turnover by the Redbirds that time. Some of them have been forced. You know, Bradley has been very active defensively, tipping balls, but the last one was just unforced error, and it resulted in a breakout layup.
Dan Adams checks in for J.J. Twy. He's played just 1 minute in the last 3 ball games, including 2 DNPs, as in did not play against Indiana State and Missouri State. The junior from Metamora inbounds for Bradley. Braves leading by 14. Right from the top of the key. It's good.
Basket is very large right now for the Braves. That was a tough shot, right made over Dilligard.
Porter Mosier letting his team try to play out of it here. Onukiu off the glass. Boy, he has been something tonight. He's in double figures with 10.
That's the guy they really had to go to. He's having the best night for sure.
And the
Bob
Braves
doesn't
turn it
find
over.
O'Brien to right that time on the high-low pass. I tell you, I've watched a lot of basketball this winter, and every team uses that entry, and it looks like the hardest pass there is to complete. Everyone throws it. I mean, the top 25 teams are throwing it out of bounds from that spot.
Khalif Ford with 10 points off the bench for the Redbirds. Gives to Dana Ford, who throws it to Paul Herzog at center court.
If it had reached Herzog, he would have dropped it.
What was that?
If it had reached him, he would have dropped it. He didn't get his hands on it. Illinois State 1 of 8 from the field this half, 7 turnovers. They have as many misses as they have turnovers.
Dana Ford with the steal, almost carried it, lays it up and in. He is on pace to break the single-season steals mark at Illinois State, set by Todd Starks.
And that's saying something. Starks was really good.
Braves lead is 12. Adams the rebound, and he scores! The microwave heats it up quickly.
Welcome back.
He's had 3 games this year where he's come in and scored a bunch quickly. We'll see if he continues that after scoring the first one quickly tonight. Onukiu with the bucket. He's got 12.
Something to build on for him tonight. I mean, this game's not over, but boy, he'd really be proud of this effort.
Coming off just a 5-point game against Southern Illinois. Franklin. 7 for Will Franklin.
And that's because Tony Bennett had to go out of the game with 2 quick fouls, 3 total.
Bradley's depth much better than it was a year ago. Big Illinois State battles, and Porter Mosier will tell you this, he just doesn't have that offensive go-to guy that can get him 15 points a night. Although a couple of guys are trying to step into that role here tonight. Nadu Onukiu and Khalif Ford. Khalif Ford with 10 off the bench.
Onukiu with 12.
Here comes Bennett off the bench. He'll probably replace Ruffin. Can't take Franklin out right now.
Lawrence Wright, tough shot, bounces it in. Shooters roll. Almost 11 points a game for Lawrence Wright. He's got 2 buckets here now in the second half.
Well, that's 52 points for Bradley, 10:40 to go, and if you're looking at that 60-point mark, it's going away fast.
Joe mentioned it early.
8-2 for ISU when they hold teams under 60. 0-9 when they don't. Final from Carbondale. Indiana State beats the Salukis on their home floor 63-54. Ending that lengthy home court win streak. Onukiu blocked by O'Brien. That one blocked by Wright.
Lawrence Wright, tough shot, but he is so athletic. And Porter Mosier has to call that timeout now.
Well, you know, everything's going in for Bradley right now. Bradley's made a couple of baskets without even looking at the basket. O'Brien, right turnaround. Here's the deal here. All shots are contested, and then the breakouts, and I think Porter Mosier is going to talk about getting back on defense because Franklin had a shot there, passed it up, very patient, gives it to Wright, and there's just not enough help down there when these big guys for Bradley are running the floor and getting post up off the instant quick offense. Here's Wright. He can make that shot over a lot of people because he shoots over.
Well, he's got about a 50-foot wingspan.
Right.
Those long arms,
Yeah.
7-foot wingspan.
You know, Porter really wants to conserve the timeouts in case this game gets close again, but he's got to try to keep the crowd out of it, and that's not possible right now.
18-point Bradley lead with 10:03 left. Levi Dyer back in for the Redbirds.
And what did Porter say yesterday? I mean, he said he fears the Bradley Braves because of how fast they can score points. And here it is, tied at the half and 18 up with under 10 minutes to play in the second half. This is what he was really fearing.
24-6, the Bradley run here in the second half. Wichita State beats Evansville 74-66. As a foul is whistled against Bradley. It's on Bennett, and that's his fourth.
Porter was talking about the run that Bradley made against the Sycamores last week with, you know, blowing that game out in the second half. But we got to get, and the Redbirds have turned it over 7 times and now have 20 for the game lead.
And Bradley out rebounding the Redbirds 12-6.
And there's 9.5 minutes to go. A lot of turnovers with this much time left.
Levi Dyer played for Kevin Brown, Washington head coach, out in Colorado. Misses his first shot attempt of the night. Kevin Brown coached at Central Catholic in Bloomington, then went to Colorado when his wife was transferred. They are back. Of course, he has a great team at Washington. Lawrence Wright throws it away.
A 42-game record road or home streak for the Salukis is their final score. Indiana State 60.
And they're just announcing that Southern Illinois score. They lose at home to Indiana State, 42 straight at home.
I know, Valley record for conference wins consecutively at home. And it goes by the boards from a team that had won one conference game at home against these guys, Illinois State.
Well, we said when they played here without David Moss that they're going to be a much different team when he returned to the lineup, and he's back. Great defense that time by Andrews. And a good catch by Porter Mosier.
Well, he was wide open.
He was.
Good pass.
Surprised he didn't shoot from there.
He's made those before.
All-stater at Bennett Academy.
Excellent shooter for Tony Baroni. His day.
Crowd wanted Dan Adams to fire that shot up.
Whistle down low as Andrews and Dyer battle for position.
If Adams had shot it from three-point land, it would have been the Braves' 6th attempt from beyond the arc. That part of the offense has gone away in favor of in the paint, bust it to the boards, shoot it, and go get it.
Whatever works.
And it's been working. Yeah. The Braves looking at 4 straight wins right here.
Lawrence Wright, another three, made one.
Just as we say
Evansville,
that,
right.
Lawrence throws it up from the line.
A new cue. I think I said that. Maybe I said it after Andrews made his three that night. I was like, that's bad news because that's just going to make them think they can shoot from out there all the time. Porter Mosier will go to a line change here. Vandalo, Odiokosa, Plank, and Ford will come back in as the Braves make it a 20-point lead. Tough shot. Holtz there for the follow. Tip no good. And the Redbirds battle on the offensive glass that time.
But they can't buy one. That was a nice shot by Will Franklin there on the reverse layup for the Braves' last points. He was in with the trees, but on the other end, Illinois State really struggling. And we've seen this. Franklin again. It's like there's 3 of them out there.
He really brings a wealth of experience to this Bradley team, and you can't say enough about the junior college guys and how they've come onto this team and really just fit right in. Will Franklin, Zach Andrews, Lawrence Wright a year ago, Tony Bennett.
Well, when you go to the junior college ranks and recruit guys, they should be able to play right away and contribute right away. We'll get into that when we come back.
7:16 to play. It's Braves by Carver Arena. Bradley outscoring the Redbirds by 20 here in the second half and playing a little defense as well, keeping the Redbirds to just 6 points since halftime. Will Franklin with the D there. Our Bradley player profile, there he is, Tony Bennett. He's on the bench right now with 4 fouls. Led the Braves with 51 steals last season. Second in scoring last year with just under 12 points a game. Helped lead Westinghouse out of Chicago to the 2002 AA State Championship, and his favorite snack is chocolate chip cookies. He's also afraid of clowns. Adams for 3.
Just one more thing. There's a guy you can't leave open.
Danny Adams back in the mix after not playing recently. He had the shot in the air, the game-tying attempt at Creighton, and then didn't play the next 2 games.
Right. Foul on Lawrence right there, but again, Bradley doing a good job. It's just 6 fouls on him this half. There was 5 in the first half, so they have kept Illinois State off the line, eliminating yet another phase of how you can score points. Redbirds have done it to themselves also. 22 turnovers in this game.
Yeah, they corrected that at the table. The foul was on Andrews, his 3rd, and that one will be against J.J. Twy, his 2nd. Redbirds now in the bonus.
They're still sitting on 1 free throw for the entire game. We're at 6:40 to go, and that was missed.
Mike Vandalo, good-looking freshman out of Bettendorf, led his team, helped lead his team to the state basketball and soccer championship. Oh, and by the way, he was the valedictorian. Not a bad year.
No. I'm gonna remember that one.
Franklin bounces it off Plank. It'll be Bradley ball with 25 remaining on the shot clock.
Well, Bryant not in the game, but a force while he was in there. 23 minutes so far, 6 of 9 from the field, 14 points, 8 boards, 5 block shots in front of 9 NBA scouts. I tell you, there's 2 scouts here for the Knicks, and I think they try to sign them tomorrow. They're so bad.
Adams again for 3. Not that time. Right, offensive rebound, just like he's on a pogo stick down there. And then he shoots the 3. My goodness.
Hard work pays off. He gets rewarded with the wide open jumper.
2 games in a row with a 3 for Lawrence Wright. Plank to the hoop.
Tried to pick up a charge. Lawrence Wright playing a very good game. And Bradley going to the bench, deep bench here. Ray Brown and Jeremy Crouch going to check in.
That was ISU's first basket since the 11:47 mark.
No, they don't have many this half. They were 3 of 18 that last time out.
Oh, Andrews wasn't quite as high as he thought, tried to slam. He was still below the rim.
Braves with a new shot clock.
Leading here 62-38. Andrews fouled. Go to the line for the three-point play.
The pass was better than the shot. J.J. Twy making a little magic. And he, now in the flow of the game, watch this, down the lane. No look pass to Andrews. He finishes.
Fouls on Plank. J.J. Twy, Danny Adams get a big hand. Jeremy Crouch into the lineup for Bradley, along with Ray Brown, the freshman out of Minnesota.
You know, we've talked about this before, Lee. Joe Stoll has always said you don't really need more than 8 players, you know, in your rotation. But it doesn't matter who the 8 are for Bradley, as long as the 8 are playing well. And right now, that, you know, the starting 5, and you're throwing Franklin in there and Andrews and, you know, Bennett, who's not on the floor now. But goodness gracious, if all those 8 players are playing well and Twy has played well tonight, as has Andrews, then you're set. You don't need more than that.
Dilligard not having a very big night offensively. He's got 8.
25-point Bradley lead.
Well, he was in foul trouble. He had 4. There's only 2 players in this game with 4, Bennett and he. And the difference is that when Bennett goes out, Franklin comes in and picks up where he left off. When Dilligard goes out, there's no one to pick up for him on either end of the floor.
4 on Zach Andrews. And Jim Les says, guys, it's a 25-point game. There's 5 minutes left. Let's let them play.
Illinois State this year is 6-0 when leading with 5 minutes to go.
Dilligard the miss. This is the score I told someone before the game. That's not going to be the right score, but the difference was 30, and the Braves are threatening to do that here tonight. Leading by 25.
There's certainly a difference in depth. There's a difference in talent.
Dyer off the glass and good.
And there's a difference in mentality, really. The Redbirds are struggling, going through a phase where they can't win on the road, and this is a tough place to try to break a streak like that.
Lawrence Wright. Well, Porter Mosier has some help coming. He's got an All-American.
Got to start with building blocks, 1 or 2 players at a time.
Well, and you look at the guys that we talked about that earlier. I mean, if they had Marcus Arnold, if they had Lorenzo Jordan, if they had Denton. I mean, there's a lot of if there. But
right. In a league like this, Missouri Valley, you can't really afford to have big classes that everybody leaves at the same time, and you can't afford defections. It's not Duke or some of these teams that can just reload with a recruit, a transfer, things like that. It takes more than a year.
Well, and the other thing they had too, the battle, was that 8-5 rule when he came here, and then he couldn't sign all the guys that he would have liked to have, and then they took that rule out, and then he's shorthanded as Andrews scores.
Right, the mid-majors, and before this year, you could classify Bradley as a mid-major. There's certainly a power major in basketball now, but those are the things you had to battle against.
Inside, Dilligard fouled. Let's check who the foul is on. It's on Andrews, or is it on Wright? We'll clear that up after the break. 2:55 left, all Bradley. Joe D'Alfonso back at Carver Arena, and Ray Brown whistled for the foul just before the break. Bradley a 12-point favorite coming into tonight, and they have more than doubled that, leading here by 25 in spite of Marcellus Somerville going 0 for 9.
Right, and I think if we check the play-by-play, Bradley really busted this game open when he was on the bench. I mean, that's got to be pointed out that the Bradley depth really came through. Guys like Wright and Franklin came off the bench and did a yeoman's work, and then the game just got out of hand. And in the victory column, we're not going to see Marcellus again tonight. So he's going to look at an 0 for 9 on his stats with a rebound in 19 minutes.
And That may be his first, I'm guessing that's his first game without a field goal as a Bradley break.
Got it.
Brandon Heemskirk in the lineup for Bradley. It's Adams, Franklin, Crouch, Heemskirk, and Brown. For ISU, it's Plank, Dana Ford, as Brown shoots the three. Cruz chases down the rebound. Crouch saves it, but Plank gets it. Porter Mosier's going to his bench. Dana Ford's three bounces over the backboard. We've got all kinds of new Redbirds in there. Eric Vianney, Roberto Fortis, Travis Wallace.
Now let everybody get a taste of it.
And Carlwell back in.
Because the atmosphere should be close to this at Redbird Arena on the 11th.
So the road woes continue for Porter Mosier and his Redbirds.
3 of the 4 favorites won tonight in the Missouri Valley Conference, and now we have a 4-way tie at the top of this league. Northern Iowa, Southern, Wichita State, and Creighton all are 9-3. And Bradley and Missouri State keep pace. They're both 7-5 now. There's 2 games back of the 4 top contenders. And Bradley is now 3 games ahead of Drake for the final spot.
And Jeremy Crouch makes a three.
One more thing for the crowd to cheer about.
Another plus. It'd be nice to see him get his stroke back. This is game 1 of a 3-game road trip for the Redbirds. They next go to Evansville this weekend and then a trip to Drake.
Drake will be 3 games back with 6 to go for that final spot to stay out of the play-in round in St. Louis. Bradley and Missouri State now comfortably ahead with 6 to go.
Good defense by Adams, but a nice shot by Cruz. Fall-away jumper. Well, and Bradley and Missouri State tied at 7-5. They meet Saturday night in Springfield, and we'll bring it to you right here on WEEK. Don't forget our post-game show coming up following the completion of this ball game. Mark Strauss is back in our studios. We will have highlights and interviews from here at Carver Arena as the Braves will improve to 13-7, 7-5 in the conference. Franklin fouled. Will Franklin bringing it right at you. And some of those guys, Roberto Fortis, Vianney, and Odiakosa, well, actually it was Fortis and Vianney just came in out of Africa. 4 Redbirds from Africa. Onukwu and Fortis were born there and moved here. Odiakosa just started playing basketball in Nigeria 4 years ago. Played on their U21 national team and played on the World Championships in Argentina. Brian Lavin, the walk-on from Peoria Notre Dame, gets a little PT tonight. And a big hand from the crowd.
It's a big hand for Will Franklin because he played very, very well tonight in a game that Tony Bennett suffered with foul trouble.
Fortis from the elbow. 2 mid-state 6 guys and Mid-Illini guy out there. Lavin and Crouch out of the mid-state 6. Adams out of the Mid-Illini. 25 seconds to play before we put this one in the books. Round 1 in the War on 74 goes to Bradley. The rematch coming up a week from Saturday in Normal. Ray Brown with the bucket.
This is a microcosm of the Illinois State season right here. Can't score and can't win on the road. But a great effort by Bradley. They would have beaten a lot of teams tonight.
29-point win for the Braves, 73-44. Redbirds hung with him for 20 minutes, but Bradley put on a blitz there to start the second half.
Really, Bradley had so many streaks tonight of good things. 5